Gotta be careful how I word this because I don't want no miscommunications. Do not come for me. But I'm genuinely curious. Like, as a black woman, of course, like, I notice a lot of non-black women preference be black men. And I'm genuinely curious, like, as to why. This is no shade to black men. I'm just curious of, like, what specifically attracts you to them other than their looks. Like, because there's so many cultural differences and interracial dynamics, personality differences, like, things you're gonna have to learn to navigate along the way. And, like, it seems like a lot of learning and extra shit, like, that you have to put yourself through on a day-to-day. And I'm just curious as to why, like, black men is the standard for all races to, like, want to date. And don't say it's not, because look at Hollywood. Like, it is. I'm just curious.
All right, Shalom, Akim. Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, coming with another lesson through the Spirit. And Lord willing, this be edifying to the Lord's elect. All right, and before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. All right, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, of whom I've grown in this truth under. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations. But your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. All right. Salaki. Hey, man, Salaki about that. All right, so I want to say peace and blessings to you all. Shalom, Wakasadim, Waparakim. Okay. Please forgive me. I got a little distracted there. But, I want to go into this lesson. All right, dealing with the precious sons of Zion. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to dive into this because I saw that one clip, all right, that I opened up with. And the lady was like, why are so many women around the world so fixated upon the so-called black man? You know what I'm saying? And so that's what sparked this lesson. I saw this was shared by a beloved brother. You know what I'm saying? It says GMS News 1, that's his channel. And he posted this right here. All right, the thing about it is that all the nations of the world, all right, all the nations of the world, they're drawn to they're drawn to what's natural. You know what I'm saying? They're drawn to what's powerful. All right? And at the end of the day, you have to remember what the scriptures say concerning Esau and Jacob. Okay? It says that that thy brethren shall praise thee. You know what I'm saying? And all the nations will be drawn to you. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said, let your light so shine. You know? So, as a matter of fact, let me start here. All right, so let's go to Matthew. All right, so Matthew chapter 5. I think this is chapter 5. Let's lock it. I could be wrong. Kind of it is chapter 5. All right, so Matthew chapter 5 and verse 13. It says, ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Okay? A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under the bustle, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Okay? So it's talking about pretty much you Jakes, you know what I'm saying, beginning with the elect, the 140, started with the 144,000 men, going on to the large remnant, okay? You Israelites are the salt of the earth. Okay, so of course the world is going to be drawn to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what's natural, man. The so-called Negro, Latino, Native Indian man. Okay, we are the salt of the earth. But why specifically black men, so-called? All right, which of course, black is not an actual person. You know what I'm saying? Not an actual people. It's just a simple derivative of brown. You know what I'm saying? So there's no black person on the planet. It's all just simple derivatives of brown, okay, from light to dark brown, okay. Even the most sort of jet black, if you will, okay, is simply a dark shade of brown. All right. So just to put that out there. All right, but why the so-called black man though? Specifically, you're going into Judah, okay? Specifically speaking, you would be talking about Judah. So why the Judite man? The reason why is because the Judite man is the leader of all the tribes. The tribe of Judah is the head tribe. So of course, everyone would be more drawn to, all right, the Israelites, specifically the head tribe of the Israelites. Okay? Now, one of the things about so-called Negroes, you know what I'm saying, West Indies, Jamaicans, Haitians, and whatnot, okay, it's the dark skin. Okay, the dark skin, the natural look, I should say. Okay, the natural look of the planet, right? Because everything that has its pigmentation. Okay, its pigmentation comes into or goes into melanin. You know what I'm saying? So a man like myself, I'm about like milk chocolate. You know what I'm saying? You take someone like Elder Malcolm, he would be what you would consider caramel. Okay, but melanin is essentially, the pigmentation of the world, man, because the tree and wood, they get their, it gets the pigmentation from melanin. It's melanin in the wood, you know what I'm saying? The soil, all right? The soil has melanin in it, you know what I'm saying? All right? Causes this pigmentation. When you dive deeper into the earth, okay, the darker the soil gets. You see? So, just wanted to put that out there, man. But this is something that Esau despises. Okay, they despise the fact that, all their efforts throughout the years, throughout the centuries even, was a long concerted effort to, to rid the world of the truth and to flood the world with their image, okay? And so by doing that, they caused the world to look at them as if they're the standard of the planet. You know what I'm saying? So this is why it's got Eve so confused, where she's asking that question: why do all these other nations, okay, see so-called black men as such a desirable man? You know what I'm saying? Well, when you look at Eve today, Eve has been taught by the number one adversary to Jacob, which would be Esau. You see what I'm saying? Eve, the so-called black woman, Latino woman, you know what I'm saying, Native American woman, but specifically you black women, right? Eve has been brainwashed or has been trained to think the way that he thinks, to hate what he hates. You know what I'm saying? You so-called black women have been conditioned to this mindset. Okay? Throughout the years, it wasn't something that just happened overnight. It's something that took years and years of conditioning, and it goes back to slavery. You know what I'm saying? And remember, slavery wasn't that long ago. You see what I'm saying? I have an aunt that's in her 90s, okay? Like 95, I believe she is, okay? She lived during Jim Crow. You see what I'm saying? She lived during Jim Crow, and Jim Crow happened right after slavery. So slavery's not that far off, okay? But during that time, all right, during that time, from then till now, you women, specifically you black women, have been conditioned to think lowly of your own men. This is why that woman would even think to ask a question like that. You see? What does the world see in the so-called black man specifically? Israelite men as a whole, but so-called black man, all right, in particular. Why? Why are the other nations drawn to it? And she asked that question because she doesn't see the value that the Lord placed in his own children. You see what I'm saying? So this is Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 2. It says, the precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter? You see? So the sons of God are highly desired, man. So I'm gonna get this video, okay? And I know I'm speaking on a lot. I got a couple things that I want to share with y'all. All right, so check this out.
What I would say very simply is that those of us who are born with this pigmentation have certain privileges, things we can take for granted. We have the safety, the security. So we don't want to lose this. Now, this also means that, and here's the unpleasant part, that so much of our safety, security status comes from putting down black people, saying we're not like them. We're Europeans. We're more highly evolved. We've got talents they don't have. And that's where you get, the flip side of this, which really is the ugly side of racism.
Well, how much does sex and sexuality really have to do with race relations, particularly between white men and black men?
Well, if you take white men and black men, let's take it two ways.
Okay.
If a white man is walking down the street and he sees a couple, a very attractive black man, really masculine, and with him a very attractive white woman, very white, we'll make her blonde, He looks at that woman and he wonders, this is the white man, what does she see in him? What do they do together? And it really drives us, up the wall. Because she's a woman who could choose, a white guy, but she chooses a black guy. And that really bothers us. And as a result, what we want to do is some way take that black man away. Because we begin to say, hey, is she having a better time with him? In various ways than she can with me. And so he's competition for us. And you know how people react to competition. What I would say very simply
all right, so,
is that...
excuse me. So you saw the envy, okay? Pretty much, he just said the quiet part out loud. He said the quiet part out loud, man. Edomites are envious. All right, Edomite men are envious of the Israelite man. You know what I'm saying? Particularly the so-called black man. And the same thing happens on the other side, in terms of his counterpart. All right, the so-called white woman envies you so-called black women. All right? When you're in your right mind, you know what I'm saying? They envy you. And to some degree, they envy you even in your folly, because You know, they go to get the aesthetic of what you would consider a a typical so-called black woman. Okay, when you got a thick body, you know what I'm saying. And some of these Edomite women take it to the extremes, but more often than not, you're seeing the so-called white women looking like what we would call thick. You know what I'm saying? Highly desirable. Okay. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying, when it's going into the men, okay, this would explain the constant mutilation of a male's genitals. You know what I'm saying? When they took Jake men, so-called black men, and they were castrating them, and they were keeping their Johnsons for souvenirs and all that stuff. Okay, there was envy there. They always had a fascination with our genitals, man. Okay, because they're envious. All right, they were always envious of that. You see, and so that's why they made sure to have you turn against us, well, against so-called black men. You know what I'm saying? So basically, it was all said in the beginning, which was in the book of Genesis. Okay, that there would be a distinction between the two boys. There would be a distinction between Jacob and Esau. Okay, so this is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 22. It says, "And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger." Okay? And who was the younger brother? It was Jacob. You Jakes. Who's the older? It was Esau. You Edomites. You see? And so that one nation would be stronger than the other nation. Okay? For the longest time, you were able to portray yourselves as the stronger brother. Okay? But you both knowing that only one is naturally stronger than the other. You know what I'm saying? All the things that Esau has that made him so-called great for the longest time was the wealth and the riches. You know what I'm saying? That's what made them attractive. The wealth, the riches, you know what I'm saying? The veneer of being the epitome of masculinity. You know what I'm saying? And for a while that worked. Okay, for a good while that narrative worked, you know what I'm saying, through the pseudoscience, you know what I'm saying, through trying to make out the world to believe that so-called black men, all right, were 3/5 of human, okay, that the so-called Native American man was savage, you know what I'm saying? And the same for so-called Mexicans and so on and so forth, right? But going into the propaganda and the pseudoscience, okay, that was the means that he used to shift the world's view of you Israelites, man. Okay, like when it goes into Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Okay, this was a part of that plan. But the problem is, prophecy still remains, because this is Genesis 25 and verse 24. "And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. The first came out red, all right, all over like an hairy garment, and they called him Esau. They called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob or Yaquab. Okay, and Isaac was 80 old when she bare them. You know what I'm saying? So it was always prophesied that we would be fast on your heels. So while you spent all these centuries to convince the world that you were greater, here it is now when the Israelites are coming back to their prominence. It didn't take very long at all. We caught up to you, Esau. All right, now the world is looking at you differently, and less as a hero and less as the most attractive on the planet, and now they're looking to the opposite side, right? So let me show you another video real quick. Bear with me. All right, so I want you to check this video out, okay?
Up to us and we shook hands, and it was the first time I ever touched a black person.
So what brings you guys out here?
Just to, see the beach. Heard it's nice. Pennsylvania.
I think they were awesome. Like, they were interested in where we're from and what we're doing, and yeah, they were cute little black guys.
You guys kosher? You guys Jewish, right?
No, we're Amish.
Amish, oh.
Or most Amish people.
You see that? You see that? Hey man, look at that. Look at that, man. You know what I'm saying? The envy. The animosity that builds in. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that. Okay, so imagine how they took out their frustration on you Jakes during slavery, during Jim Crow, all that stuff, man. Like if like this man is walking around on the plantation, okay, with his shirt off and he's sweating and all that. And the man's mistress in the house is looking at this man walking out in the field. You know what I'm saying? Jake looking buff and all that because of the hard labor. You know what I'm saying? So he's got muscles. And she looking at him she looking at him drooling. Okay? All right, and the head and the master, you know what I'm saying, looking at his wife. The plantation owner looking at his wife, man. Okay? And then all the envy, all the jealousy, man. So, without your pseudoscience, Esau, you're not that guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to trick the world into believing this. Jake ain't got to do nothing. Jake just got to just got to move like he's got some sense. You know what I'm saying? And most times they don't even have to do anything at all. Okay? And the world is just attracted to Jake. Anyway, let's go back.
You guys Jewish, right?
No, we're Amish.
Amish, oh.
Or most Amish people. A white girl should not date a black guy.
Bro!
My mom actually said that. That you don't see one kind of birds hooking up with another kind of birds. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
For this brother right
Yo, this Joker look like he an inbreed. This nigga look like he an inbreed, man. It's crazy.
I have a very bad news for you, bro, because these girls are gone, bro.
They gone. They gone. Look at that. Blonde hair, blue eyes, okay, pale skin. That's the absolute pinnacle of Edomite achievement. You know what I'm saying? To get a chick, all right, with bleached blonde hair and seaside blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? So what happens? I mean, we're talking about Malibu Bunny. You know what I'm saying? But looking at her, and she's not looking at you, she's looking at Jake. You know what I'm saying? She's looking at Jake now. Okay? And when you think about these so-called these so-called allegations in these Epstein files, right? When you think about that, look at the deterioration in their image as a result of this. Okay, and we're not just talking about the men in powerful positions that was doing this, doing all this crazy shit on them islands and whatnot. Okay, but this is also affecting low level everyday Edomite men. You see what I'm saying? It's affecting their image, and they can feel that. They can feel that. You see? So now the world is looking at Edomite men as a whole as a problem, as the problem, because on the one hand, it's not just happening to these these American men being inside these scandals and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody expects that after all the shit that America has been showing through these past years and all that stuff. It wasn't a surprise. But when you start to see Edomite men in high positions in the UK and all that, because they held themselves at a higher standard than the Yankees, what is this doing to Edomites, to Edomite men's sexual appeal throughout the world, man? Okay? Now you're being seen as creeps. And the other women of the other nations are not looking to you no more. They're looking to Jake now. Let me show you another video. Actually, let me finish this part out. Salakia.
True. For this brother right here, I have a very bad news for you, bro, because these girls are gone, bro. I mean, look the way she look at him, bro. I wish my future wife look at me the same way she look at him. Okay? And I don't care what your mom said, because at this point, this Amish girl, they're not even Amish anymore. They are Africanish. Basically, they are done.
I grew up with lots of black men. I grew up in London, lots of black men. It's not the case of that they like other races or they don't like black women. It's just that they have access to every other race. Other races want them. Wow. Now, there are Chinese billionaires.
Say it again. Say it loud.
It's not their fault. Other women want them. And I say this like I was growing up in London. I moved to Dubai. And honestly, you can be an Arab girl, Chinese girl, white girl. You can be Hispanic. They'll all date black men. But now, when it comes to this, Indian men that are billionaires, there are Chinese men that are billionaires. They stay in their own race. Now, is that entirely because they, love their race, or is it because they don't have universal appeal? So the fact that black men are dating outside of their race, it's not because they love other races. I actually think they like black women more than anything. It's just that other women flock to them and don't let them stay within their own race. I really don't. I see so many women whose dream is to have a child with a black man, or they just want a black man more than anything else. And they dream about it, they think about it, and even when they date white men, they'll talk about it. So, what do you expect? It's not the same. They're not sitting there having conversations with their white guy and saying, "Can I get a hall pass for a Chinese man?" They're not saying that. So is it really black men choosing white women, or is it that other? I don't believe it's their choice to be with other women. I think other women don't let them live with just black women. And I think if you give a black man a choice, they will usually choose black women. Yeah. They usually will choose black women. Or if they go to other races, it's because she has black women features. It's not really because. So they love their blackness. It's just that we all love your blackness. And so you don't get a choice.
Agree with you.
Yeah, because I just don't like even when they say things like, "Oh yeah, the black men sleep with so many women and they're never faithful." Sorry, Bob, in your house, you would love to be unfaithful. You just can't. So, it's just, I think it's not really about black men. I think it's the appeal they have and the testosterone. And I really think it boils down to masculinity. They exude more testosterone and masculinity than other races. So they become universally desired by women. Now, this is not all women. I'm just saying in general, they have more. You could travel to any country. You join Tinder, girls will match with you. It's any country. Now, if you do that same thing as like and I don't mean this to stigma, I'm saying this as a South Asian woman. If you say that as a Pakistani man or as a Vietnamese man, you don't have the same luck. So is it really you seeking other women or other women seeking you?
Damn. Let's get this in Genesis chapter 25, verse 23 again, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. Like when Jake goes around the entire world, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wants Jake. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same with so-called white men no more, man. You're not the hunk of the planet. You know what I'm saying? Your pseudoscience is wearing the fuck off. This is Genesis chapter 25, verse 23. It reads, "And the Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger." All right. I don't know if I got this earlier. I forgot. But let's get this Lamentations again. All right. If I got that already. So, one second. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 2. It reads, "The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter." All right, so I did read that already. But yeah, that drives the point home, man. All right, the sons of the Heavenly Father are precious, man. Precious. You know? There's another precept I'm just thinking about. All right, Jeremiah chapter 51. Okay, Jeremiah 51 and verse 19, it says, "The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name." You know what I'm saying? So the portion of Jacob is not like these other men. That's why she mentioned, hey, if you're a so-called black man, you know what I'm saying, you can go overseas anywhere, you know what I'm saying, and you can hit on Tinder and you'll match with everybody. You know what I'm saying? You'll match with all the women. Okay? But if you're East Indian, not East, excuse me. Yeah, I think that's what she mentioned. But if you're an Asian man, a West Asian man, that's what she was. That's what she said. If you're like someone from Pakistan, or you're someone from China or Vietnamese, you know what I'm saying, you go anywhere on the planet and you get on Tinder, all right, and you don't have as much luck as so-called black men. You know, so again, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. You know what I'm saying? So Jacob is the one that's naturally set to rule this world. You know what I'm saying? We have that birthright and we have that blessing. You know what I'm saying? We're the natural rulers. You see what I'm saying? So as a result, the world would naturally be drawn to the sons of Jacob. You see what I'm saying? Specifically Judah, especially Judah, I should say. Especially Judah. You know? Let's get this here. Let's go to Job. All right. Okay, this is Job chapter 26. Slacky. Okay, Job chapter 27, verse 13. It reads, "This is the portion of a wicked man." Okay, and who's been that wicked man? It's been Esau. It's been Esau. For the longest time, you went around the world, you know what I'm saying, doing your mess. Okay? You went around the whole world and told lies about yourself and about your brother Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Like the scripture saying, Romans 1:18, they hide the truth in unrighteousness, man. You didn't bother to you kept the secret. You kept the Israelites a secret from the world. You know what I'm saying? And now you're mad at the world because the inhabitants of the world from another nations are starting to remember them again. You know what I'm saying? All the other nations are starting to recognize Jacob again. And they feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? So let me get this here. This is the portion of a wicked man with the Most High, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. You know, and these devils have gone around the whole world oppressing and oppressing. All right, and oppressing, man. So the people are naturally tired of his ass. The scriptures say that the whole creation groaneth for the manifestation of the sons of God, man. Verse 14, Job 27:14, it says, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. You know what I'm saying? You're going to pay for all the stuff that you've done on the planet, man. Okay? While you was going around pretending to be the hero, you was in actual fact the villain. And now everybody's calling you out. And they're saying, you ain't the hero, man. You've been the villain this whole time. This whole time. All this PDF stuff. All this Satan worship. Baal worship. You know what I'm saying? The world is not looking at you the same way anymore. This is verse 15. It says, those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep, and your own women are not weeping for you. You see what I'm saying? So-called white women are no longer weeping for you, no longer helping you. All right? They're the number one group that's exposing your ass, man. It's a so-called white woman that's exposing your ass. It's crazy work. Crazy work. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to weep for you. All right. Let's go to, let's see. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. All right. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10. Verse 31, it says, he that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? Okay, so who's in poverty right now? It's you Jakes. It's you Israelites, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, man. But when we're on top, because like I said, the only thing that kept these Edomites at the very top, it was their wealth. It was their wealth, their power, their status, man. You see? But what happens when we get that power, wealth, and status? You know what I'm saying? You already don't have any sex appeal. Hell, now it's coming out now that y'all can't make babies for shit. Y'all can't reproduce for shit. So, again, Sirach chapter 10, verse 31, he that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? And there's going to be a switch. There's going to be a switch around, man. All right, y'all going to be so undesirable. Nobody's going to want you. Nobody's going to want you, man. If you're already this low under Jacob, and you're in your kingdom, how much more when you're no longer in your kingdom and we're in ours? And our sex appeal just shoots through the roof. You're going to be nobody. You see what I'm saying? You're going to be nobody, man. We're going to have to force your own women to lay with you so you can keep breeding. It's crazy. This is crazy work, man. The Lord knows how to humble. All right, and these Edomites is getting humble, boy. Let me get this one more time. Let's get this last video. All right, now close it out.
And we're so terrible. Why do other races of women want them? I promise you, if black men were so terrible, these other races of women would not be desiring them. There would not be whole schools and classes on black culture that other races of women are taking to learn more about how to attract black men. No, the issue isn't the black men, but the good ones y'all don't want. Y'all don't like the nice guys. A lot of you women, you black women, y'all are just as undesirable. Y'all are so busy getting on these this podcast talking about how nobody wants black men, when in actuality, nobody's telling you this, but nobody really wants black women like that. Because a lot of you black women, y'all have a complex. Y'all think that giving a black man your worst and seeing how much a black man takes of your nonsense is his way of showing love. Y'all like to test men to see, oh, what can I do that's showing out and that shows how much he loves me. That is the biggest load of crap ever. Y'all are determinants of your own results. It's not nobody's fault that you don't like the good black man. It's nobody's fault that you like the bad boys and you like certain types of men and then you're getting mad at the results. But the funny thing is, you really walking around thinking that these other people want you. You should be grateful that black men still want you, because y'all are disrespectful. Y'all are always getting on this internet talking crap. And like I said, other races want our men. So I don't know what y'all need to do. Y'all need to be looking within and figuring out what's wrong with you, as opposed to always blaming it on black men, because
Facts. Facts.
crap ever.
Let's see. Yeah, that's straight facts, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord is going to beautify his men. You know what I'm saying? The glory is going to come upon his men again. Right? Let's see. What was that one? There we go. So this is Ezekiel. All right, Ezekiel chapter 34 and verse. All right, let's hit verse. Verse 30 says, "Thus shall they know that I, the Lord their power, am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord power. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your power, saith the Lord." You see what I'm saying? So the Lord's portion is Jacob, and his flock are the men. You see? So won't he bring the glory upon his own sons? So that the men of the nation of Israel, starting with the tribe of Judah, are the most desired. So when we're in the kingdom, man, you know what I'm saying? Like Elder Apostle Gabar says, you know what I'm saying? When during the time of Jacob's trouble, you know what I'm saying, and they start witnessing the glory, they start witnessing the power, they start witnessing, you know what I'm saying, the Lord's favor, you know what I'm saying? We, the Israelite men, are going to be, specifically of the elect, you know what I'm saying, are going to be overwhelmed. All right, overwhelmed with these women. You see? So, you know, it's already going to start on this side. How much more when we're in the kingdom, right? Anyway, I've gone on pretty long. So that was pretty much the lesson. You know what I'm saying? Just wanted to touch on the precious sons of Zion, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we will be respected again. And it's already beginning on this side. Like I said, we're already the most desired, you know what I'm saying, Jake as a whole. Already the most desired. And all the rest of the tribes, you know what I'm saying, that may not have the melanin at this point, you know what I'm saying, all the glorious pigmentation, all right, that's seen in Judah, you know what I'm saying, don't worry. All the tribes are gonna have that beautiful, that beautiful look again. You know what I'm saying? Perfect skin. You know what I'm saying? Oily from coconut oil or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But you know, all tribes are gonna have that look of perfection. You know what I'm saying? And as the scriptures say, Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Ephraim shall not vex Judah, and Judah shall not Oh, Slocky, I got that mixed up. Let me just get that preset real quick. All right, bear with me. So this is Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 13. It reads, "The envy also of Judah shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim." All right. So at this point, you know what I'm saying, the kingdom of Israel is envying Judah, you know, and at the same time, the southern kingdom of Judah is vexing Ephraim, you know. But the Lord is bringing back the tribes together, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be solidified when Yahushua comes to reestablish the throne of David. Okay, so beautiful times is coming. Okay, but the Lord is going to give his men, okay, the respect that they deserve beginning on this side. You know what I'm saying? So we got something great to look forward to, brothers. All right, so this has been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, of whom I've grown in this truth under. A peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.